Hello guys, welcome back. So today we are going to be working with this page and with this page of our interactive math notebook. It should just be the next two pages, but go ahead and grab those if you do not already have them. We will first fill out our table of contents, starting with this one. So when we flip to our table of contents, we will see that on page 30, we'll write multiplying fractions. And on page 31, we will do multiplication models. All right. Once you have that written down, go ahead and flip to page 30. And we are going to start with this page. Now, this one looks a little confusing to cut out, so make sure that you follow my directions carefully. The first thing we're going to do is cut this middle line. I'm going to do this with you guys on camera just to make sure that we do this correctly. So you're going to cut that middle line. All right. Once you cut that middle line, go ahead and cut the border around this box, so along these dashed lines. All right. And if at any point you need a pause so you can catch up, that is okay. Just make sure that we do this correctly. All right. Okay, so we just cut our border out. Our next step is to cut along these dashed lines. All right, so when you cut, it will end up looking like a triangle. So go ahead and cut these dashed lines. You're going to do the same thing on the other side. So cut those dashed lines. All right, so you should have what kind of looks like a diamond shape right here. And our last step is to cut in the middle. So cut in the middle, but stop once you reach this side that says multiplying fractions. All right. Then you're going to fold so that you still see multiplying fractions on top. So I had this and I folded it along this top line. All right. So it should be that when I open these, I have a little triangle booklet. Okay. All right. Now our next step is to put glue on the back. So it says this side will not be seen. So on this side, you are going to put your glue all along it. There we go. And you're just going to glue that right in the middle of your page. Right like that. So now when you open it, and I'll have to cut mine a little bit longer. There we go. When you open it, you'll be able to see two parts of the page. Okay? So, and then this other half is just a duplicate. So if you made a mistake, you can try again on this page, or you can just use it as scrap paper or recycle, whichever you would like. All right, so we'll go ahead and add a title to this page. So we can just write multiplying fractions. All right, there's our title. And now we can talk a little bit about what is inside. All right, so when we look at the left side, we see proper fractions. Now with proper fractions, you can find the product of two fractions by multiplying the numerators and denominators. So we'll go ahead and write that in our notebook as a little reference. So we will write you can find the product of two fractions by multiplying the numerators and denominators. All right. Now, when we look on the right side and think about mixed numbers, we know that mixed numbers contain a whole number and a fractional part. So we'll go ahead and write that to jog our memory. So mixed numbers contain a whole number and a fractional part. All right. Now, go ahead and open up your triangles, and we're going to draw a line straight down the middle so that we can differentiate the two sides. So our line will go directly down the middle. All right. So now we're going to talk about how to multiply proper fractions and how to multiply mixed numbers. All right. So first, let's look at proper fractions. To multiply proper fractions, the first step is to multiply the numerators. All right. The second step, multiply the denominators. And third, simplify. All right. So let's look at an example on the top portion of our triangles. So let's look at 3/8 times 1/5. Now we'll follow our steps. First, multiply the numerators. Our numerators are the numbers on top, so 3 times 1 equals 3. Step 2, multiply the denominators. 8 times 5 equals 40. Step 3 is to simplify. 3/40 does not simplify. There's no number that goes into both 3 and 40, so we are done. All right, so there's how to multiply proper fractions. Now let's look at how to multiply mixed numbers. Our first step is going to be convert the mixed number to an improper fraction. Just a reminder, an improper fraction is when our numerator is larger than the denominator. Step 2 is to multiply as you would a proper fraction. So the only difference between a proper fraction and a mixed number is you have to convert the mixed numbers into an improper fraction first. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at 2 2/3 times 3 1/4. Now to convert your fractions into improper fractions, you'll multiply your denominator with your whole number. So 3 times 2 is 6. You'll then add your numerator. So 3 times 2 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. So our improper fraction is 8/3. All right. We'll multiply. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 plus 1 is 13. All right. So we have 13 over 4. All right. Now we'll go ahead and multiply as you would a proper fraction. But it's important to note when you multiply fractions, always look diagonally. And if you can simplify diagonally, then you can go ahead and do so to make our multiplication easier. So for example, I can simplify my 4 and my 8 by becoming a 1 and a 2. 4 goes into 4 one time, 4 goes into 8 two times. So now when I multiply, I'm multiplying 2 times 13, which gives me 26. And I'm multiplying 3 times 1, which gives me 3. All right. Now I'll go ahead and simplify my improper fraction back to a mixed number. 3 goes into 26 8 times. I have 2 left over, and my denominator will stay the same. All right, so there's an example of multiplying a mixed number. Here's an example of multiplying a proper fraction. All right, and we have our reminders down at the bottom to tell us what each one is. All right, so there's some examples for you guys. All right, so if this was a little confusing, that's okay. This was just our introduction, and we're going to continue working with multiplying fractions throughout this chapter, okay? So for now, go ahead and flip over to page 31 in our interactive notebook and grab the page that says multiplication models, all right? You guys have a couple extra in your bag, but for right now, we just need the one included in your math journal, all right? Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out 4 of these squares, all right? Be sure that you cut these out carefully and that you don't accidentally cut off any of the boxes. The number of boxes is very important. So if you'd like to cut out a little outside of them, then that's totally okay. All right, we just want 4 separate boxes. So there's 1, 2. We'll cut out 3 and 4. We'll set this aside for now. Don't throw these away yet. Make sure you keep those. All right. Okay. So now what I want to do is I'm going to glue my multiplication models on the page like this. Make sure you leave room above and below each of the squares. So go ahead and glue those down. All right, now that you've glued those all down on your interactive math notebook, we are going to look at how we can use these models to show multiplication of fractions. All right, so let's start with our first problem, which is going to be 3/5 times 1/4. All right, so that is our first problem. Now, the first thing that we need to do is color in 3/5 of our grid. So I see that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 10 boxes across and 10 boxes up. All right. So when I do 3/5, 5 is 2 or is half of 10. So each box or each part is worth 2 of these boxes. So first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and color in to show my fifths. And you want to make these a little bit dark. Alright. So now I can see that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces. And I'm going to color in 3 of those with blue. So I'll color in 1/5, 2/5, and 3/5. All right, so now 3/5 of our grid is colored in with blue. Now I'll look at my other fraction of 1/4. So I need to split this into 4 groups. So the first thing I want to do is put a dark line down the middle, because that splits it into halves, 1, 2. And then with fourths, I'm going to have to go down the middle of this grid, 2.5. And I'll do the same down here. So now I can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And I want to color in 1/4 of those red. So I'll go ahead and color in 1/4. All right. So now that I have those colored in, I want to take another look at how many squares did I create by making my fifths and my fourths. So let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I colored in, or I created 20 squares. So my denominator is 20. All right, when I have 5 by 4, I get 20 squares. Now we'll look at how many squares are shaded in by both colors. Now I see that's 1, 2, 3 squares are shaded in by both colors. Now if I check my multiplication rules, I multiply my denominators. So 5 times 4, yep, that's 20. 3 times 1, that equals 3. All right. So let's go ahead and look at another one. What if we did 1/2 times 3/8? So let's go ahead and look at those. The first thing that we do is let's look at our 1/2. So to make 2 parts, we'll just cut this right down the middle. And I see that I have 1, 2 parts. So I'll color in half of that in blue. All right, so half of my grid is now blue. Now with 3/8, I always start by cutting it in half. And now I have to split this into 8. So it works out that we will end up putting our lines about every half box. So I see I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll make 5. 6, 7, and 8. So now I have 8 horizontal lines. And I want to color in 3 of those. So I'll color in 1, 2, 3. All right. Now for my denominator, I'll count how many boxes did I create. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So I created 16 boxes, and 1, 2, 3 of those are shaded in by both colors. I see 1, 2, 3 are shaded in by both colors. All right. I'll double check my numerator. 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 8 is 16. Okay. Let's look at 2 more examples. All right. Let's look at 1/2 times 2/5. All right, so the first thing I'll look at is my 1/2. I want to mark my box into halves, and I will shade in 1/2 in blue. And you guys can do whatever colors you would like, whatever you have handy. Just make sure that they're 2 different colors and that you can see both of them when they overlap. All right, so I colored in 1/2. Now I need 2/5, so I will make 5 sections on my grid. So there's 1. Oh, all right. I messed up here. So 1 goes vertically and 1 goes horizontal. So that's totally okay. All I'm going to do is to take this one off, and I will glue on a second one. All right, hopefully you guys caught that one before I did, but this just goes to show you everyone makes mistakes in math. It's totally okay to make mistakes in math. All you have to do is just restart and try again. All right, so let me reshade in my 1/2. And now I'll do my 2/5 horizontally. So it's very important that one fraction's vertical lines, the other is horizontal. So here is where I'll do my 2/5. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sections, and 2 of those will be turned red. All right. Now for my denominator, I'll count how many sections I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 sections. And 1, 2 of those are colored in the same color. All right. Let's go ahead and look at a second problem. Let's go ahead and do 3/4 times 1/2. All right. First, I'll look at 3/4. All right. If I were to do 3/4, if it's a multiple of 2, I like to start in the middle so I can kind of make the other lines even on both sides. Like something like that. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 spots, and 3 of those will be blue. So I'll color in 1, color in 2, and color in 3. All right. Now I'll do my 1/2, which I will do down the middle horizontally this time. All right, so I have 1, 2 sections. And I'll color in half of that red. All right. For my denominator, I'll count that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 sections. So I have 8. And 1, 2, 3 of those are shaded in by both colors. I'll check my denominators. 4 times 2 is 8. 3 times 1 is 3. All right. So this page here shows you some models of how multiplication with fractions works. All right. Go ahead and skip to page 32, which we'll write in the corner. And on this page, it is going to be your examples. All right. So go ahead and take those remaining 2. I had to use my extra one because I messed up, but you should have 2 here. Cut those out and paste them here, and you are going to do 2 examples of multiplication models on your own. All right. If you have any questions, you can always come to the 1 o'clock. Otherwise, have a great day.